India has made it clear to the United States that even though it figures in its top 10 list of high trade deficit countries, Washington must stop equating it with China on the basis of a reversing trend this year. The trade deficit between India and the US has reduced by about $1 billion this year, while overall trade has grown by about $13 billion to a little over $125 billion for 2017-18. India has told the US that while the numbers may appear insignificant, it's possibly the only country on the list to show a downward trend. China's trade deficit grew by over $25 billion to about $375 billion. This recrafted Indian position, ET has reliably learned, was conveyed to U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer by Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale last week, right after U.S. lodged a complaint against India at the World Trade Organization, challenging almost all export subsidy programs. Lighthizer has the trust of U.S. President Donald Trump as someone who understands his skepticism on free trade. Yet, Washington has so far indicated to keep disputes within the WTO and not let them impact the bilateral ties. Gokhale is believed to have told Lighthizer that this downward trend will further continue through increased gas imports by India and orders for civilian planes. India's expanding civil aviation sector is estimated to book over 500 aircraft orders to Boeing over the next 5 to 10 years. India is of the view that the deficit will further reduce by $23 billion over the next year. And while that may be still way off from balancing out the $29 billion trade deficit, senior government officials told ET that the US must recognize India's efforts that stand out from China, which still tops the list with the highest deficit. And by Indian estimates, efforts are only going to increase. The US, for its part, has told India that it needs to rationalize its subsidies and tariff